Okay, good morning, everybody. I am here with Pedro, the co-owner of Guardian Termite Solutions, and I'm excited to be talking with him today. Him and his brother own Guardian Termite Solutions, and we've been working with them for a few years now. So we're going to talk today about their company, what they provide, our experience with their company, and yeah, just learn more about their business. Thanks for coming on today. And why don't you just start off with telling us a little bit about Guardian Termite Solutions, Pedro?
Hello, guys. I'm Pedro with Guardian Termite Solutions. We actually do a lot of the inspections for Jenica. A lot of the inspections that we do have to do with like the real estate side of it. So we look for fungus, dry rot, subterranean termites, drywood termites, powder post beetles, and any issues that might cause that problem. Besides that, we also do the pest control side. So if anybody has a major rodent issue, we're actually the go-to company that, we do that inspection. We highly recommend that we do the seal up of like the entry points for rodents, because a lot of the times what the rodents do is they're gonna basically destroy the insulation, AC unit, ducting, wiring, and all of that stuff. So we're actually very religious about sealing up before selling a pest control service so that we don't just take your money and leave you with a major problem that happens in the future.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we work a lot with them, like he said, with the real estate side. So then can you talk about, dry rot and what that is specifically? Because I think sometimes when our homeowners, our clients, buyers and sellers are seeing that, some people are like, oh my gosh, there's dry rot, especially for buyers purchasing. What we find in our side of the business is it's really common to have dry rot on a house. So maybe speak to that and the extent of how serious it is or not serious and how easily it can be rectified.
So most of the times, the reason why we find dry rot, it has to do with the lack of caulking or painting on the wood members. If a wood member is missing a bunch of caulking, it has a bunch of gaps basically in between. It has missing paint or peeling, flaking paint. All of those issues are going to cause you to have dry rot. So what we do is we actually use something that's called a prober, which is a non-sharp object. It's almost like a rounded tip. All we do is we tap into the wood members basically of the exterior, and then we find the dry rot by probing into it. And that's how we usually find the problem. It's very recommended that when we do our report that there's a bunch of caulking and painting of the areas basically so that dry rot doesn't happen to you.
Yeah, yeah. Even small things. I'll say when we bought our house 7 years ago, I want to say on there it said seal around the exterior lights, and it's still on there, my husband's honey-do list, right? Because those lights that you install, it's minor, right? It's like it could lead to an issue. But over the years, if you continue to not seal behind there, then water could get in and damage the wood, and then you have dry rot, right?
That is correct. Water intrusion. That's one of the major problems that happens to a lot of houses.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like pay now later, or pay now the caulking, however much at Home Depot, or you go and, deal with bigger issues later if you don't take care of those smaller things. I'll have to
That's
talk to my husband about getting on that. Okay, and then let's see. Can we just, since we're talking about different types of rot and things, I've noticed even at our house in our garage, I saw a cockroach and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so bad. But then I was informed that I don't know, maybe I want to say there's probably different types of cockroaches, but somebody said, well, those are just ones that like live in the bark. They're not the same type that you might think about when you see in movies or different things. Could you talk about that? Because I think, are there two different types and is one worse than the other? Or like it was in our garage and a lot of times I find them dead, not like, and we do have pest control. Anyway.
the major problem for most houses are the kitchen cockroaches.
Okay.
They're called the German cockroaches. They're usually light brown and they have a little yellow band in the back of their neck, basically.
Oh,
So those are the worst ones. Those are the ones that are going to cause you to, I don't know, not have a very inviting party when you, when you get some friends over and there's roaches running all over the kitchen or your baseboards, and
Yeah.
Electrical, that's the major problem that we face. Now, you'd be surprised to know that there's not that very many companies out there that can solve this problem. Most of them will be like spray jockeys and they'll only do like a light spray and stuff like that, but there has to be a combination of things. You have to use like the boric acid in the electrical. You have to use like the bait gel basically in the hinges and corners of the cabinets. You have to do a general spray. You have to use a flush out system with an aerosol to control that problem. And then, I'm probably one of the few companies that promises a major change in cockroach control within 1 or 2 months. Most companies will actually want you on a ongoing pest control service to control our roach problem. However, I believe that the customer should have that choice. If I can be the hero, basically, that can come to you and say, you don't necessarily have to go on a yearly contract, then we can also do a one-time treatment with a 1 month warranty.
Okay.
The
Okay.
other roach problems that you were talking about, the common one is the oriental cockroach, which is the exterior roach. You usually find it in the back of the garage.
Yes.
Cracks and crevices, underneath some cluttered areas, you'll see those, and the American Turkish sand. So
Okay.
the other ones I'm not so worried about as much as the German roaches.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. And while we're talking about different types of bugs and roaches, can you talk about the difference between the subterranean and the drywood termites? Because I think even in the real estate industry, it's like, oh, well, one requires drilling and one requires tenting. And we even had a house that was in great shape, like really meticulous cellars. And then sure enough, we got the pest report done and there was termites. No idea. They didn't know. So maybe if you could speak to the two different types and what the treatment is like for either.
So subterranean termites, their nest is actually located 7 to 12 feet underground. When you find like what looks like a little coral dirt tunnel on the side of your foundation, we actually go underneath houses. We search like the foundation, the pier posts. We tap into different parts of the house underneath, like the rim joist, the subfloor, and a lot of the times we're looking for those little tunnels. Subterranean termites build those tunnels basically in a satellite searching way underneath the ground.
Mhm.
When they do that, they're going to pop out at a certain point of the house. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're only located at that spot. It means that the termite happened to pop out at that section. Now, the subterranean termite, it actually sends all of its workers and its soldiers to eat on all the wood that you have in your place. The recommendation for that is to drill the exterior abutting foundation, abutting slab to the foundation, and then we're going to pressure inject a product that we call Termidor HE. Where you have the soil, we actually have to also pressure inject the Termidor. Now, that product, if anybody uses any other product other than that, it's going to be a cheap product. Termidor is the proven solution to subterranean termites for years to come. Again, those termites are deep underground and they happen to pop out where you have either a leak or you're overwatering your garden, you have a stump or a fence basically that's decaying. All of that is going to attract the termite problem
Do you
when it
think
comes.
debris under the house too? I know some of your reports will say like there's debris under there that needs to be removed. Does that attract termites as well? There's like
Yeah,
wood debris just sitting under there.
you remember the subterranean termites eat the wood, so anything wood related, especially underneath the house, will attract them.
Okay.
Now, as far as the drywood termites, that's the flying type. And we go back into the same story that I was just telling you a minute ago. Um, if you have a dead tree or a decaying tree, if you look at the core where it's eaten out, a lot of the times you'll find those black and brown pellets. And those pellets actually have to do with drywood termites. That's your first sign that you will have an infestation close to that part of the house. The way we inspect it's exactly the same way that we check like the sub area or your walls. Basically, we have to tap into different things. Sometimes the noise that it makes, when you tap into a certain wood member, it can sound strong or it can sound hollow. If it sounds hollow, that's the reason for us to kind of break that open and see what's going on. At that time, you may be surprised that drywood termites, it's infecting basically at that section.
Oh, wow. Okay, and so that's when you have to tent the property then.
Yes.
Is there
However,
any other solution?
there is two ways. If it's an extensive infestation of drywood termites, the first recommendation we have is to tent the place. That should be pretty much company standard for almost everybody. However, there's also the choice of orange oil treatment. If the infestation is not strong enough, you can actually drill into the wood members that have the light infestation, and you can inject the orange oil into those galleries. Now, I would like to compare orange oil almost like lemon is to shrimp or fish. If you use lemon on shrimp or fish, what does it do? It cooks it. It's basically the same thing when it comes to orange oil. Once you inject it into the galleries, it cooks the termite basically inside those galleries, and it gets rid of the problem for you.
Okay, okay, very interesting. And then maybe let's switch gears a little bit and just talk to us a little bit about your company, just how long you've been open, kind of the areas you serve and your culture, just anything you want to share with our viewers about your company.
It's a special one. I like to think it is very special. Our company is family owned and operated. Our inspectors are family. The co-owner of the company is Ricardo Martinez, which is my brother. Um, Mostly everybody here is family, and we would love to serve a lot of different people with the same culture that I have, with a lot of respect and honest inspections. That's who we are. That's what we do. When it comes to treatments, the same way. We're probably one of the few companies that are not going to call an active infestation of something if we see a treatment tag or we see like previous drill marks and the tunnels are broken and not active. We are that type of company. When it comes to servicing, um, I basically cloned myself into my family. We take high pride in the inspections. We take high pride in the control of your pest issues, whether it be termites, a fumigation, a liquid treatment, or a general pest control treatment or, exclusion work. Everything is done with the same respect that I've always had for all of our clients.
Awesome. Yeah, and we've noticed that too with they've done a lot of our client work and then also personal help me on a condo remodel and some other stuff. So you guys do then other things besides pest control. So what other services do you offer?
We offer the kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels. A lot of the times termite companies are everybody thinks that we're just the company for pest control and termite. We're above that point. There's a lot of times where we've actually taken roofs and replaced them. We've done the roofing inspections basically so that you guys can have all of your reports under one roof. And we are teamed up with home inspectors. So anything that we do is all in-house. You don't have to search anywhere else for either repairs, remodels, painting, drywall, texture, insulation, construction. Anything that you might think you need for your place is pretty much under one roof.
Okay, yeah, and we worked with UPI, which is the United Property Inspectors, and that's how we initially were connected with Guardian. So that is nice, especially in the agent community, to have a place where it can just be, one-stop shop. We get everything done. Makes it more seamless for our clients too. So we appreciated that on this end. And then let's shift. Can you tell me just something like like a crazy or funny story about, when we're at these inspections, because we do attend all our home inspections and we see you guys go into the crawl space, it's 100 degrees outside. Well, A, I could never do that because I'm claustrophobic, but B, what do you see? Like, what is something crazy you've seen under there? Like, I would never want to go under there, but I'm sure, I don't know. It could be entertaining to know what you've run into.
Woodland,
What is it?
18,
Oh, in
Woodland,
Woodland.
1894 built house. We are called for a termite inspection. And of course, as a termite inspector, you have to check the attic,
Oh,
you have to check the interior, you have to check the exterior, decking, balconies, all of that stuff. But overall, you have to check the sub area. Now, here's a funny story. I went underneath the house And I've never seen mounds of dirt that go like this, basically underneath. And as I start crawling, my eyes kind of go on alert a little bit, right? And sure enough, I go over the third mound and I light up this way, and there's a bunch of red eyes popping all
Oh
over the place,
gosh.
and obviously I knew there were rats, hundreds, if not thousands, a thousand rats underneath the place. And I didn't want to be the person that yells and screams and, seems pretty scared. So I slowly turned the other way, and this rat start jumping all over my neck, basically. Just,
Oh my gosh.
my hair, I swear to God, if you had a camera underneath, you could probably see my hair like this, and the hair on my arms stand up real fast. And I don't know, I told the lady, you know what, I can't complete your inspection. You know, it's not that you're necessarily like afraid of the rats, it's the health issue.
Yeah,
The,
yeah,
the possible attack of the rats when they know that they outnumber you,
yeah.
they're a lot more confident.
Wow.
And that was the first time that I chickened out from an inspection.
Okay. Wow, that's yeah, keeps your day interesting. I could never, yeah, never do that. Wow. Well, that's what we have you guys for. Okay, and then another question somebody asked was what there's a lot of companies that are talking about, a lot of people want to go green and eco-friendly and like we personally don't spray inside our house because we are worried about chemicals for with our kids. So do you guys offer anything in that space and or what is your opinion on that? Is it really safer?
It is safer. So there's a lot of little products that you guys can use. There's diatomaceous earth, basically to keep some of the slugs and different stuff like that away from your plants. You can do it around the garden section, where you don't want no chemicals. And by all means, I'm probably one of the first ones that'll tell you that if you're the kind of person that wants a green service, we will take care of that green service for you. There's always different products that are either made with clove oil or mint. That's natural stuff that'll be killing the bug as it strikes it directly. But because it smells stronger, it also deters them from wanting to go into your house. There's different products out there, and we can definitely provide that service for you too.
Okay. And do you guys suggest like when people do have this like spiders, nothing, let's say urgent, but nothing crazy in their house, but you find spiders here and there. Do you suggest spraying inside the house? Do you do that often or are you mostly just doing the perimeter of the house?
If you ask me, don't abuse any product, whether it's regular or green product. If you don't have any problem basically inside the house, don't spray it just because you want it sprayed. Only spray the inside if you have an issue, so
Yeah.
that you can keep all products away from children and pets.
Okay.
As long
Okay.
as you do the outside, it's a regular service, you guys should not have any issues inside most of the time.
Okay. And then let's talk about the areas that you serve currently. And then I know you do the pest control and then you do the termite inspections. So which areas are you kind of servicing?
Right now, we are concentrating on the Anatolia area. We're concentrating on El Dorado Hills, Rancho Cordova, and Gold River. Those are regular spots basically that we service. And the reason why I chose those sections, number one, I'm literally 20 minutes away to 30 minutes away from those houses. With that being said, I want to be ready for you guys when you have an emergency. 30 minutes away from those areas, it means that I'm going to be there fairly quick to make sure that your problems are solved. I don't want to take over any other areas basically right now. Number one, because I feel like the response time wouldn't be there and the drive time would be too far away basically for us to be there on time and on emergencies.
Yeah. And are you talking about more so on your like pest control service or your termite inspections?
Actually, the termite inspections go above and beyond. We
Okay.
actually service everywhere from the Bay Area um, all the way down to South Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
We go to Pool, we go to Nevada City, we go to Grass Valley. I mean, there's so many areas that we service, and the best way to think about it is that if you can look at a map and you can go 2 hours around Sacramento, that's how far the company travels basically to do your inspections.
Okay, okay. Yeah, and we are kind of all over as well, and so, but we do a lot in Rancho Cordova, Gold River, Folsom, El Dorado Hills, so I agree with you that having that 20-minute distance is nice to have, when you're not too far from home, you can kind of hop on the freeway and get to where you need to go. Let's see. Okay, lastly, a couple things, I guess 2 questions. What do you feel like homeowners can do to prevent potential issues and protect their homes? That's one of the questions.
So usually what you'd want to do is you want to make sure that you have a tightly sealed house. If you see any holes in the stucco, please take care of them. There's always spiders or earwigs or ants or anything that can go in basically from holes in stucco. Um, Caulking right around the windows, same thing. If there's a gap in the trim, there's going to be a gap in the stucco or in the actual siding. So caulking again also works for pest problems as it does for preventing dry rot. Keep your house sealed as best as possible when it comes to doors. Install weather guards, weather strips as needed basically on the door so no mice or rats go in there. I mean, there's a lot of preventative stuff that you could go on and on talking about, but that's part of an inspection that we do. When we go out there basically and we do the regular service, we will also check for those issues for you to make sure that we prevent major issues or continuing problems for you. At that time, we're going to show you what needs to be done to make sure that you're protected.
Okay. And even like mice can fit through tiny holes, right? I have a
Yes.
friend who had issues and it was like, you would not believe how somehow they get in these really small spaces.
I think mice are like me. My ribs contract when I go into crawl spaces. So do theirs. So, you know, they need like a 1/4 inch hole basically for a mouse to fit through basically. And
Wow.
that tells you how tightly you have to seal your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the rats, same thing. Just go to town with doing the inspection, guys. Checking the attic ventilation, making sure there's no gaps where the actual cable guy came in and shoved the wire through.
Yeah.
You got to check the ventilation, the screen, make sure it's nicely tight and sealed. Crawl space areas, the same thing. Check the ventilation and make sure all of those are sealed. And one really common spot is the AC unit entry lines.
Mhm.
If you have like a condenser on the outside, they always have a gap that goes to the attic or to the crawl space, and they never seal them.
Mhm.
You have to make sure that you stuff that with steel wool or copper mesh, and then do like an expanding foam to make sure that
Yeah.
that sealed area is going to be secure.
Yeah. Yeah. Because once they get on in the insulation or inducting, like, and they just have feces and pee in it, like it's over, but you almost have to redo that whole thing, which costs so much money. So yes, these preventative things are so important to avoid those bigger problems down the road that if they get in there, it's just, yeah, hard
It's
to,
crazy.
hard to get back to having things the way you need them. Okay, and then lastly, can you just tell us where can people contact you? Where can agents find you if they need your services, and homeowners?
So by calling Guardian Termite Solutions office, our phone number is 916-706-1440. You can always call the number and we'll be glad to help you, whatever your needs are, whether you need a termite inspection, pest control, or you want a bid, basically a competitive bid, from other termite companies. We would love to help you that way too. If you have a report from another company, we can go in there and actually try to provide you with a competitive bid. Um, the pest control side, I can assure you that I'm personally helping a lot of the clients with the pest control. You know, um, and the reason why I do that, again, it's pride. I would love to see your problem come to an end, if possible, on the first shot. That's the type of person that I am. And if I can't do that on the first shot, I promise you I will come back like the Terminator. I will come back and take care of it. You know what I mean? And no questions asked.
Awesome. Okay, lastly, I know I said that was the last question, but what made you get into the bug business? Like what compels someone to say, I'm gonna start a termite company?
Satisfaction of knowing that you're helping clients. I live for that, really. You know, whether it's finding a problem when it comes to termites, finding a solution to make sure that their house is safe. The rats that people cringe just at the noise that you cannot sleep from all this noise basically that they make in the attic. Knowing that I'm putting an end to a problem is what I live for, and trust me, sometimes I take it personal and I will call it a challenge. Bring me the worst and let me show you how it can be solved.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the great feeling that I have when it comes to our company,
yeah.
bringing you a solution.
That's awesome. And I will say for agents too, like, when we have these reports that happen, like specifically for our buyers, and we always tell our clients, that's fine if the seller did an inspection for a pest inspection, but as a buyer, when you're looking, you need to have your own inspection because that inspection only protects the seller. It wasn't done for the benefit of you. So we always encourage our clients to have a pest inspection done separately by you guys, and then we can compare because this company might say, oh, everything's clear, it's all fine. Then we have you guys come out and there's things that were missed, and that company should stand behind, the clearance. But having that second opinion is so important for our clients, to know that like, is everything fine? Just, to have a second set of eyes on there. So we appreciate you and we'll continue to see you out in the field. And thank you for being on today.
I appreciate your time and thank you for the invite.
Okay, have a good
Have a
day.
good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.